Today's reading is going to be all about what you are finally ready for. So we're going to look at what sort of energy are you currently in right now, and then we're going to see what the universe has been preparing you for. What is it that you are ready to receive, and when may or might that thing be coming in for you? So if you are interested in that, then this is the reading for you, and definitely stay tuned until the end because it's going to be interesting stuff. So we have 3 piles to choose from, and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you already know exactly which pile is yours, then you can go into the description box down below and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you are still a bit unsure and you would need some guidance on how to choose the pile for you, then just a few of my recommendations. First, it is super important not to be distracted by anything. So if you can get to a quiet place and tune out any distractions, you can close your eyes, you can take a few deep breaths to really get grounded into this present moment. And then just see whatever comes up for you in your body. Is there something that you see in your mind's eye? Is there some sort of sign, a symbol? Is there a specific color that draws you to your pile? Is there any sort of keyword or number, anything like that? You can hear, you can see, you can feel, there are all of these different ways that your intuition could speak to you. So listen to that voice and follow it. But also, as I always say, please don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so thrilled to welcome you to this reading. So before we begin, I just want to say a very quick thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of this amazing support that you have shown me, all of the new subscribers that have joined my little channel. I am so grateful that you are here. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of this feedback, this support, the positive energy that you have shown me and this channel, and this belief that you have in me. I cannot tell you how much it means to me, so thank you so much. But anyway, let's get into this. So you chose this Labyrinth card. We also have some pre-prepared oracle cards, and we are going to look at those in just a bit. But as always, I want to start off first with some intuitive messages that I am picking up on from this card. So pile number 1. It looks as though you have been navigating some difficult times lately. It feels like there have been quite a lot of puzzles that you have had to solve. Maybe there has been quite a lot of confusion or uncertainty, which I mean is kind of a common theme for pretty much everyone right now. It's kind of an astrological theme in general that we are going through, but I feel that especially strongly for you. But at the same time, it's like you also have been following some sort of intuitive guidance or intuitive nudges to navigate the way forward, to make certain moves, to make certain decisions. I feel like you have been very much sort of cautious or careful. I don't feel like you have made any impulsive moves lately. It feels like you are taking one step at a time in a very deliberate manner. And it seems to be like this one single thing that you are aiming at, with the sort of the heart of the labyrinth being in focus here. It seems that it's almost like all the paths are leading to this one goal, this one central destination that you have in your mind and in your soul, the thing that you are being guided towards and the thing that you are moving towards. So it feels like you have been trying a lot of different things. Possibly there has been a lot of harsh lessons, a lot of rejections, or maybe some hard no's, things that, have really taken you aback a bit, or that have been difficult to stomach. But at the same time, it's like you also know, or there seems to be this level of faith in you that everything is happening for a reason. And I'm looking at these dragonflies that are surrounding this labyrinth image. And it just feels like there is some sort of higher level of wisdom that you are operating from right now, pile number one. It's like you have this level of connection to the divine that is almost like indescribable. I'm also looking at all of these like roots or vines around, and it's just giving me this feeling that you are so in tune with your higher self, with spirit, with God, with your ancestors, with the universe, whoever you resonate with and whoever you believe to be around you and guiding you at this time. It feels like you're very much in touch with them. Yeah, so even though it looks as though there have been some really unexpected twists and turns, and it has been difficult for you to find your way forward. It hasn't been like a linear path. It hasn't been something that has been sort of easy and sort of straightforward to go through. But yeah, it feels like there is a whole sort of lesson within you navigating this terrain. There seems to be some sort of like value in that journey in and of itself, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, that's just the intuitive part, pile number one. So if you are still not sure whether this is your reading, then stay tuned for this oracle card part, because we are going to get a closer look through these cards of what kind of energy you are currently dealing with. So hopefully you will be able to recognize yourself much more easily through these messages. So we have the number 33 with horse spirit. Freedom is yours. 33 is a master number. We also have survival. We have fog. Anomaly. And we have hawk spirit. Let spirit be your guide. Okay, pile number one. So I find it funny that a lot of these cards are, again, confirming some of these messages that we were talking about in this intuitive part. But let's just start from the very beginning. We have this horse spirit and this survival card. And to me, these two cards are very much sort of working in tandem. And it looks as though, pile number one, that you have been in a period of time where things have possibly been difficult for you to manage or difficult for you to endure, especially with the survival card coming out here. It is very clearly indicating that things have been sort of straining you. Maybe you have had to endure very difficult circumstances when it comes to your living situation. Maybe you have had to endure difficult circumstances regarding work. Maybe you have been unemployed for a while, or maybe you have been let go. Maybe there has been a breakup or a divorce that you have gone through. Maybe you have lost someone close to you, or maybe there has been some sort of shift in a family dynamic or a rift between you and a close friend or anything like that. It feels like this survival mode is very much a key word here. But with this freedom is yours, it looks as though you are very much breaking away from that, or you are putting a lot of energy and focus into breaking away and freeing yourself from these more restrictive, more sort of base energies. The energies that are sort of keeping you stuck or keeping you in a negative loop somehow, or that are restricting your growth, that are restricting your development. I was just giving you some examples of, you know, how this survival mode could be occurring for you, but it could also be that this may be more of a specific message, but it also feels like some of you could be in a relationship right now, or maybe you were in a relationship, or, you know, and again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship per se. It can be a work relationship, it can be a friendship, it can be a family dynamic. It feels like some of you have been in a relationship where you have been either like suppressed or dominated by someone else in that dynamic, or the other party in that dynamic. And you have had to like get by with very little. And that can be very little affection, that can be very little attention or care, very little For some of you, like financial means as well. It just feels like all of your focus for some time has been to just survive through that period of time. And now it feels as though you are finding your way out of that. You are trying different things. You are trying to spice things up so that you could release yourself from this energy and move on to something better. But with the fog card being here at the center of the reading, it is very clear that it is a confusing time for you right now, that there isn't a very clear or concrete path forward. And so that's why I find it funny that we have this labyrinth image. And as we were talking about, navigating difficult terrain and finding your way through, almost like blindly going off of faith and going off of belief and going off of your intuition and things like that. It feels like this fog card is very much confirming that message. It's almost like you have to just sort of do this trial and error type thing and see what works and what doesn't. It's like you can't really see things very clearly with your mind right now. So it's like you have to use your senses, you have to use your body, you have to use experience as a way of learning what works and what doesn't. So I feel like you are in a place where you are just sort of taking action. You are not so much planning or analyzing or strategizing things through in your mind's eye before doing something. It feels like you are just doing something, just trying something, just going out there and exploring, or sending applications for a new job, or exploring your hometown, even going to different places to meet new people, or trying different groups or different activities, different hobbies to see what may spark your interest or anything like that. It feels like you are kind of going into it blind, but it's because you can't really go off of anything else. It's like, I feel like experiencing, that seems to be such an important keyword here too. Like experiencing something is the best way for you to find your way forward right now. And we also have this anomaly and let spirit be your guide. Again, I feel there is a connection between these two cards. And so it feels as though you are sort of seeing what is right for you through something sticking out, through something being like, I feel like spirit is sending you subtle signs, which is helping you to navigate the way forward. So as I said, there seems to be a very strong connection to the divine, to spirit, to God or the universe. And again, that is a very strong confirmation with this Hawk Spirit guide here, Hawk Spirit card, sorry. And so it's clear that they are sort of communicating with you and trying to help you to spot what works for you and what doesn't. And so it's like you could be coming across certain weird things that are sort of, that you are noticing out of the blue. And I feel like it's also a message to keep your eyes open, to keep your ears open, because you may receive certain guidance through very interesting mediums, through random people on the street passing you by and talking about something that catches your interest, or something like you may hear a keyword that actually answers a question for you, or that helps you to move forward in some way. That could be a very important piece of the puzzle coming through a movie, a TV show, through a sign that you see on a billboard somewhere, or a key phrase, or anything like that, like a number or a license plate or whatever. So just keep your eyes open, because I feel like there could be very important messages that are also helping you go through this time more easily. But anyway, this is what I am feeling from this energy that you are in right now. So if you resonate with this part, it is a very good sign that you are watching the right pile. And so we are moving on to the most important and interesting part next, which is all about what is it that you are ready for? What has the universe been preparing you for? So let's see what we have. Okay, so pile number one. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the best place for these cards so that you could also see them. They wouldn't be out of the frame. So the cards that you got, I was planning on getting 5 cards, but for some reason, I feel like that's it. Like no more cards are needed. So anyway, we have the 8 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Knight of Wands, with the 2 of Wands being in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So just to point out some of the signs that we are getting here that you may resonate with yourself or that may be around you tied into this situation, that may also help you to determine that this is your pile. So we have heavy fire sign energy coming through. So those would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, specifically Sagittarius with the Knight of Wands here and the 8 of Wands. And also we have some Pluto energy with this Judgment card. So Scorpio could be significant as well. So the first thing I want to say here, pile number 1, is that clarity is coming. Please don't worry about this murky period that you're in right now, because things are going to be clearing up and they are going to be moving forward in a much more sort of understandable or comprehensible way for you. So we have this 8 of Wands and this 5 of Swords. And I feel like with the 8 of Wands, Spirit is saying that things are going to be speeding up for you and they're going to be moving in a very concrete direction. And I love that in this image, we have this fireworks that is appearing, because it's almost like there is something to celebrate. There is something to be joyous of and be happy that it is occurring. Be happy that you are achieving this thing or that you are moving towards this destination that is something that you are ultimately wanting. Because we also have this 5 of Swords, and with the 8 of Wands being such a dynamic card, it feels like you are actually like moving past or like leaving this energy behind. And the 5 of Swords is an energy of conflict. It's an energy of like misunderstandings, of high tension, of things sort of, you know, being very testing, being very challenging. Again, this could talk about you feeling some sort of threat or feeling like you are kind of left to fend for yourself, but that you don't really stand a chance or you don't have a leg to stand on or something like that. So it's a very confrontational energy, the 5 of Swords. So again, this is kind of hinting of some sort of relationship dynamic that you could be in. But you know, just in general, this is talking about the situation that has been testing you and that has been putting a lot of pressure on you, and where you may have felt as though you are being forced to get by with very little, or that you are being forced to endure certain bullying or suppressing or just this negative energy. And so it feels like you are ready to, leave that energy behind, move yourself out of this situation. And I feel that especially because we have the Judgment card that is coming out right next to it. So this 5 of Swords is being flanked by 2 of these cards of change and movement. Sorry, I'm going to try and... Yeah, there we go. So hopefully it won't, glare back as much. But yeah, we have this Judgment energy here too. And as I said, this is an energy of Pluto. So it's highly transformational energy. And it feels as though with the 5 of Swords being in the middle here, that through some sort of conversation or through some sort of action or some movement that you are taking that may be difficult to do, it may be difficult to shift yourself or to separate yourself from that energy. It feels like through that experience with Judgment, you are going to receive some sort of higher understanding. There is going to be this aha illumination moment for you where something shifts. And this shift seems to be something that is internal, I feel, at the beginning, but that is going to lead you to some very profound movement afterwards as well. It's going to push you to make certain moves and take certain action that is going to set you free in a very profound way, because with Judgment being here, which is also a card of the major arcana, so it's kind of like a heavy hitting energy, it feels like, you are almost jumping to a new timeline in a way, or you are elevating into a new frequency in your energy. And through that, I also feel like there is something very cerebral about this, even though we're not necessarily getting too many like swords cards. But with this Judgment card, I feel like this shift is happening in your mind, in the way that you perceive things. And it's kind of like giving you this new lease on life, I want to say, for some reason. So it's like you see the truth of something. You see the truth in yourself, and possibly even like the bigger world, or the energies around you, and kind of like what you need to do. Yeah, it seems to take you with this Knight of Wands, which I feel like is you taking that action. It seems to take you to a place of drive, of motivation, of passion, and of determination as well, because the Knight of Wands is a highly charged energy of just going after their dreams, of doing what lights them up, doing what they believe in. And there is a lot of self-belief in the Knight of Wands as well. They are convinced that they can have what it is that they're after, and that they can do whatever they set their mind to. So this is the energy that you are ready for, pile number one. You are ready to plunge into a new timeline, or a new way of being for yourself, and creating this new reality that is going to be stemming from you realizing something, you having this like breakthrough moment that I feel like is changing you almost like to your core in a way. Or there are going to be shifts in like, in like the energetic matrix or something like that. I don't know why I want to say that, but you know, there you go. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands that is coming out in reverse. I'm going to show you the image upright just so you could see the beautiful illustration. But the Two of Wands, especially when it's coming out in reverse, it talks about not really being in between two things, you know, because the Two of Wands is about making decisions and moving forward to something new, or planning for something new. But if it's coming out in reverse, it feels as though there isn't really too much like questioning or doubting. It seems to be like you coming out of this place of being like a bit in between, or being a bit unsure, trying to find your way forward. It seems to be much more determined than that. And so, yeah, I really like this energy for you, because it feels like you're going to be making strides in, first of all, exploring new things that enrich your life. But second of all, doing that with like, there is a certain level of freedom here. There is a certain level of exhilaration and discovering something that is truly like meant for you, that is meant to propel you to take some action that is going to like create something of value, I feel. So anyway, that is what is coming through these cards. So I want to also take a look at some Sacred Soul Timing Oracle cards. And I want to give a little disclaimer, as I did the last time I used this deck. These cards are going to give us a bit of a time frame of when this breakthrough moment may be occurring for you. But whenever we dabble in timing, it's something that is not to be taken too seriously. So please take this next part with a grain of salt, because timing is so fluid, and it is such a tricky thing to get accurate. So this is more for sort of fun, you know, it's not to be taken too seriously. So let's just see what comes through, and if we can get any sort of time reference for when this breakthrough, again, may be happening for you. Oh, interesting. So we have Scorpio time. We also have August at the bottom of the deck. Reap the rewards of what you have planted. Abundance, ripening, harvest. So I actually love that, because I love the keyword for you, because it does indicate that this soul goal that you have, or this central destination that you are aiming towards, that you are sort of trying to blindly navigate towards. And I feel like for some of you, it can simply be happiness, you know, finding your way out of these restrictive situations, these things that are not in alignment with you, and just finding your way to what would truly make you happy, finding your way to your bliss. you know, it feels like it's something that you are sort of moving towards. So it's almost like, you know, this energy that you have been putting into your pursuit, all of these efforts and all of the lessons that you have gone through, that there is something that is going to be coming out of that. But the card, as I said, that you got is Scorpio time. So it says October 22nd to November 21st, use your hidden magic, intense, passionate mystery. So it feels as though Spirit is saying that for some of you, this breakthrough moment or this very significant movement forward where things are sort of, you know, getting very clear for you and you are starting to take very much like deliberate action. That seems to be happening possibly around October and November when we have Scorpio season. So yeah, that is what is coming through over here. But again, you know, keep in mind, this part is just, you know, for fun. So anyway, yeah, let's move on to the last part of the reading, which is going to be some affirmation cards from Spirit. So let's see what sort of advice or support they have for you as you are navigating your way through this time. Whoa. Ooh. Oh, perfect. We got exactly 2. But I want to start off with the underlying energy, which is so cute. And I just love this message here for you, pile number 1. It says, my fears do not control me. And the way that this little frog is holding up this little sword is just, I don't know, it's the most adorable thing. So my fears do not control me. That I feel like is almost like a mantra that you can say to yourself. Because again, like, you don't need to keep yourself small anymore. Like, obviously there was a time where you possibly had to do that, where you had to, again, just get through the thick of it, you know, and survive through that time. But it feels like now is the time for you to break out of that space, you know. You are not in this weakened state anymore. You are being emboldened and empowered. And I feel like that's what all of this fire energy is talking about. That's what this Plutonian energy is talking about, you know, that you are being sort of reborn from the ashes, I almost want to say. So yeah, you are being upgraded, you know. So there really isn't anything for you to be afraid of, because you have the power to make the moves that you want to make in order to create the life that you really desire. You got 2 cards. The first one is saying, I am going to treat myself the way I would treat my best friend. So this is very much a card and a message of self-love and of just paying attention to, again, what sort of inner dialogue or monologue you have with yourself. How do you talk to yourself? How do you think about yourself? What sort of thoughts do you say in your own mind to yourself about yourself, especially when you make a mistake, especially when you mess something up or when you don't perform in a way that you had expected, you know, when you kind of like let yourself down in a way. How do you talk to yourself? And I feel like that's what Spirit is really emphasizing here, of, you know, being a lot kinder to yourself and thinking of yourself as your best friend, you know. And we also have, I will not be overly critical of myself or others. So it feels like it's kind of the same message again. So yeah, I feel like I don't have anything else to add to this. But clearly we are dealing with the way that you think about yourself and the way that you talk to yourself. So that seems to be a very crucial message here, and something that would potentially also help you to set yourself free or give yourself more credit and, you know, respect yourself more, to feel more optimistic, to feel more joyful, and to think more highly of yourself, and not in like a selfish way or egotistical way, but in a way that you truly respect yourself, you value yourself, and that you expect more from life for yourself as well, that you are not willing to put up with any like ill treatment or lacking circumstances or conditions or things like that, You know, that seems to be very, very significant here, and something that would truly help you to, again, like move forward and move towards your bliss. So yeah, anyway, that is it. I'm going to try and keep this nice and short. So pile number 1, thank you so much for being here, for watching this reading. I truly hope that this reading spoke to you, or that it gave you something of value. And if it didn't, at least hopefully it was entertaining for you to watch. If you are still here, by the way, if you are watching this right now, then know that I truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You are the real deal. And if you can let me know in the comment section so that I could recognize that you are one of the real deals over here. So you can leave a little Scorpio. Yeah, let's do a little Scorpio in the comment section, so that I would know that it is you and that you are still here watching this. So thank you again, and I am wishing you all the best. I hope to see you very soon back on this channel for some more insight. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, pile number 1. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen, and I am so grateful that you are here watching this reading right now. So before we begin, I just want to say a quick thank you from the bottom of my heart, because in the meantime, as I'm filming this right now, this channel has recently gotten 1,000 subscribers. So we reached that milestone, and it means so much to me. So I really want to say thank you to every single one of you who has been supporting this channel, who has been supporting me, leaving me all of this amazing, beautiful, kind and generous feedback, and just letting me know how these readings touched you in a personal way, or how they, you know, gave you something of value. It means the world, so thank you so much. But anyway, let's get into this. So you chose this home card. We also have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which we're going to look at in just a bit, because first I want to feel my way through this card intuitively and see what I am picking up on. So pile number 2, I get this sense of being hidden away, or having almost like a secret life, or a secret little bubble that you have been in and that you haven't allowed anyone else to see or penetrate. And this whole image is just making me think of this like cozy and safe and secure and kind of like hidden or tucked away. It's just so beautifully like enveloped or encapsulated. It's like you are in this deep, serene energy, or maybe serene is not the right word, but there definitely seems to be a heavy emphasis on emotions and on your inner landscape, because we have all of this moon imagery and this owl as well. You are very much at home within yourself, or you are trying to find comfort, trying to find safety and security from like whatever may be happening around you, because there could be a lot of chaos around you for some reason. I don't know why I'm feeling that, but it feels like things could be really like turbulent or kind of crazy externally. And so it's like you are finding this safe haven or this refuge within yourself and creating this little corner for yourself in your own home. You could be focusing a lot on your home energies right now in general, you know, trying to make your physical surroundings, your living area as sort of cozy and comforting as you possibly can. There could be a lot of emphasis on that right now. Maybe you are even like changing homes. Maybe you are moving or in the process of moving or thinking about moving. Maybe you are just feeling like spending a lot of time at home, or staying away from like overly crowded and public areas and spaces, and just trying to, you know, sort of sit with yourself. Because I feel like for some reason, you know, even if you haven't always been that way, it feels like for some reason right now, pile number 2, you could very much be needing to be away from other people, or you could be craving this sort of solitary energy where you can just be with yourself and where you can be undisturbed and where you can just have a calm, peaceful, relaxing atmosphere. And again, just like get in tune with yourself, listen to yourself. Maybe you are even doing certain like spiritual practices more so, or like some sort of self-developmental practices, things like that. Maybe you are doing yoga, or taking certain courses, reading self-help books, or listening to like certain podcasts that are all about like self-development and growth and personal like enhancement and things like that. Or maybe you are even like dabbling in magic or like esoteric things as well. You could be doing like tarot yourself, or maybe you are into astrology, or maybe you are getting more familiar with those sort of occult topics. It just feels like you are finding more of a quiet and solitary energy right now. That seems to be the focus for you. But anyway, this is just the sort of intuitive part that I'm feeling off of this card. So if you are not 100% sold on this energy, you are not quite sure that this is yours, then stay tuned for this oracle card part as well, because we are looking at what sort of energy you are currently in, and hopefully it will be a lot easier for you to recognize yourself in this energy. We have Peacock Spirit, Let It Shine. We have Wrath. Oh, interesting as well that we are getting like two sort of illuminations here, like coming from the heart space or from the chest, you know. Anyway, we'll get into that later. We also have Copper, Teamwork, and finally Elephant Spirit, Learn from the Past. So pile number 2, I have a feeling that something happened that has really like irked you, or caused a lot of frustration in you, and that has pushed you to seek refuge in solitude, or kind of separate yourself from like external energies for the time being. Even as I'm saying it right now, I can feel myself like welling up, or like, you know, that sensation when you're about to cry, like that is what I'm feeling right now. So yeah, a lot of emotion is coming up. So I feel like you have been through some sort of ordeal with other people, or with someone very specific. And it seems to have like shaken you to your core, or again, it can be because of sadness, or it can be because of like anger, or maybe even a mix of both. But it definitely seems to be highly charged energy. And so that could be the reason why you are trying to seek this more quiet space, so that you could work your way through what actually happened, where your energy begins and this other person's energy ends, and like to kind of separate yourself from this mess. So it's kind of interesting that I was feeling this sense of like craziness around you, because that is kind of what is coming through here too. So we have this Let It Shine and Wrath. So Wrath is very clearly, signaling that there is a very strong emotion that you are feeling right now. And I feel with this Let It Shine, it could have to do because you opened yourself up to someone that you shouldn't have, or because someone took advantage of you, or someone broke your heart, or broke your trust, or misused your generosity or your affection, or something like that. But I also feel like with both of these cards, it feels like you are currently in a space where you are trying to like let it all out, where you're trying to express what you are feeling on the inside, and it seems to be very volatile. So you are trying to like get it all out in a safe way, in a private environment, so that, you know, it almost makes me think that on the outside, and possibly in front of this other person, or in front of these other people who have made you feel this level of frustration or wrath or anger or sadness or whatever, in front of these other people or these other energies, you almost have like a mask of cool, calm, collected. That's what I feel from the face of this owl as well. It's like, it's unreadable. It's like they can't really tell what is going on with you. It's almost like apathetic, or just super neutral, and just handling the situation, or kind of revealing of yourself as little as humanly possible. So I feel like all of these interactions that you are forced to have with them, it feels very, again, very masked, very controlled. But behind closed doors, when you are actually by yourself, it feels like you are trying to get all of that frustration out of you. And there is something very cathartic about this energy that I feel. Now, we do have this Copper card, which is highly tied to Venusian energy. And so that's why it's hinting at like certain emotional ties or relationships, specifically of like the romantic nature. But of course, it doesn't have to be. This can also be just a relationship with a friend. Maybe a friend stabbed you in the back, or maybe someone, again, betrayed your trust somehow, took advantage of your trust, or said something that they shouldn't have said. Something like that. But with Venusian energy, there is definitely a relationship component here. So I feel like whatever this thing is that you are in, and that you are trying to like separate yourself from, to create this barrier where you can just be in your own little safe space, where you can recalibrate yourself, where you can get in touch with your inner landscape, with your emotions, where you can let them out safely, where you can explore again, like who you even are and what is going on with you and the whole situation in privacy. I feel like I lost my train of thought. So that happens sometimes, especially to me, that happens. But anyway, I feel like whatever the situation is that you are trying to separate yourself from, it seems to have something to do with a specific relationship or relationships. So I don't feel that it is necessarily like more of a mundane thing, or like I don't feel like it has a lot to do with your career or things like that, even though there could be a career component if this relationship is tied to your work somehow. But it feels more on the personal side. And so with this Copper energy, that's kind of really what is coming through here, that there is heavy emotion and sort of emotional investments that you have made into this person, into this relationship. Because we also have teamwork, right? And so it's all about you and someone else, or how you fit into the picture, and this whole dynamic at play. Because the card says teamwork, it could involve more than one person. But for some reason, I'm feeling very strongly that for some of you, this is talking about a partnership. So like you and someone else. And I just feel with this teamwork that, it's like you are kind of in a process of re-evaluating how you fit into this whole picture, how you fit into this whole dynamic, and what you want to change from here on out, what sort of like boundaries you want to put in place, or what sort of changes you want to make. Because with this learn from the past, again, this is a very clear indication that something has transpired. It's not something that you are currently in anymore. I feel like whatever this big upheaval was, it happened already, and now you are sort of dealing with the aftermath of that, and you are trying to like pick up the pieces and rebuild yourself, and again like seek a deeper connection with yourself and like build yourself up. But yeah, it feels like you are putting the pieces back together and trying to sort of learn and trying to really dig deep into this situation, so that you could like avoid any sort of similar instances in the future. So yeah, this learn from the past feels very, very significant, and especially because we also have this owl image, right? Which is like, owls are very much associated with wisdom, with a deeper insight, or some sort of sacred knowledge. And so I that seems to be at the forefront for you right now, working through these thoughts, these feelings, these repressed, shadowy bits that maybe haven't been said or haven't been expressed. So yeah, this is what I'm feeling, pile number 2. It's a bit messy, it's a bit complicated, it's a bit all over the place, but hopefully you kind of understood what this was talking about. And if this is you, then definitely stay tuned for this tarot card portion, because we are now getting into the juicy part of what is it that you are ready for now? What is it that the universe has been preparing for you, or you for, I should say, for you to like call into being or manifest into your life. So let's see. Okay, so there was a bit of an explosion with the cards there, and you got way more cards than I was planning to pull, but you know, it is what it is. We'll just take all of these cards, and clearly they have an important message for you. So we have so many major arcana cards that I don't think I have seen that in a very long time. But you have the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Wands, the Death card, Temperance, the Hermit, the Sun, and the High Priestess in reverse, with the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I'm also going to bring out some of the zodiacal signs that are the most significant here, in case you resonate with them yourself or you recognize them around you. So with the Wheel of Fortune, we have Jupiter, so that would be Pisces and Sagittarius. With the Death card, we have Scorpio. With Temperance, we have more Sagittarian energy. With the Hermit, we have Virgo. With the Sun, we have Leo. With the High Priestess, we have both Cancer or Pisces that could be significant. And finally, with the Knight of Swords, we have Gemini. So I rearranged the cards a bit just so that it would be easier to keep all of them in the frame. But I mean, with all of these major arcana cards coming out, pile number 2, it is very clear to me that the universe has been kind of putting you through this whole situation because of some deep soul growth, and it's almost like this milestone that you had to go through in order to go through this very profound transformation within you. So it's almost like this was written in your life's journey, in the blueprint of your life's journey, and it's such a monumental point that is going to like alter the way that you are in relationships moving forward in general. Because so the first card out is the Wheel of Fortune, and so with this being talking about what you are ready for, what the universe has been preparing you for, this is clearly a change. This is talking about a shift in energies, and because it's coming out upright, it is a shift in energies for the positive. So you are ready for something that is much more in alignment with you, something that is much more destined and fated in a positive sense, something that is meant to bring you more luck and happiness and joy. Because we also have the Ace of Wands over here. And so this is a passionate, like new beginning or a spark of inspiration, some sort of potential, right? And I feel like, because we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Wands, and the Death card coming out side by side like this, with the Ace of Wands being flanked by these two cards that are talking about transformation and change. It feels like you are ready to deeply alter the way you, first of all, express yourself, but also like it feels like you are shifting what you will even get like tangled up with, or what you will invest yourself in, what you will give energy and focus to. Because with the Ace of Wands, like this is just a potential, right? But this is something that you sort of have to work towards in order to get it to materialize into something real, into something tangible. And because we are dealing with the fire element, which is very passionate and very, again, like driven and motivated, it's what makes us take action. And because we are currently dealing with some relationship themes here, it feels like you are kind of shifting what sort of relationships you even attract and what sort of people you attract or are attracted to. There seems to be a shift in that. And I feel like because of this Wheel of Fortune, it's like there is something that is much more, again, something that is much more positive when it comes to how you are going to be relating to other people, or the type of relationships that you're going to be calling in. Because again, we have Death and Temperance, which both of these cards came out together. And so with Temperance, this is an energy of healing. This is an energy of finding balance, of seeking some sort of like tranquility and peace. And so first off, again, this is an indication that you are healing from this very turbulent time, but that also you seem to move from this period of time, or from this experience, to a much more balanced and harmonized place. You know, with this Death card, it feels like you are completely revamping or like reprogramming something within yourself. Because with Temperance, it's a much more like equal give and take, or this balanced approach where, you know, like everyone's needs are met and everyone is like looked after. And I feel like you are starting to prioritize that a lot more. You are ready for more reciprocal relationships now. So we also have the Hermit card, the Sun card, and the High Priestess that came out in reverse. So first off, with the Hermit and the Sun, again, it feels like what this whole experience has been for is to get to certain like insights, or to get to certain wisdom, some level of understanding. With the Hermit, this is again this very solitary, this very isolated energy, but it's so that you could get in touch with some deeper knowledge, something that is crucial, a bit of information or an understanding that is crucial for you to move forward in a more sort of aligned way. And I feel like, again, this is all of this wisdom and growth that you are doing as a result of working through these energies and these feelings. And with the Sun, this is about like actually expressing what it is that you have realized, or what it is that you have come to understand, and living life in much more joy and much more fulfillment, and really like to the fullest, not really holding back. And so with both of these cards together, it feels like there is an energy of you also sharing what it is that you have gone through. So I feel like there is some sort of important message here, especially with the High Priestess in reverse too, of like opening up about some of these deeper aspects, these secrets, or these deeper lessons that you have gained as a result of going through this experience and working through the feelings, these intuitions and everything that you are experiencing as a result of this upheaval. It feels like you are kind of like meant to share it, or meant to voice it somehow, use it as like inspiration for other people too, or yeah, I don't know, it's just something about needing to express what you have gone through and what you have realized, and all of this self-growth that you have done, because it almost feels like you have to be a beacon of light for other people, you know? And this whole experience was so that you could find your true light, or that you wouldn't like dim it, you wouldn't hide it away because of like someone else, or it's like you had to arrive to this fiery place within you so that you could find the courage or the determination to express yourself fully, because your voice is really needed. And I feel that specifically with the Knight of Swords being the underlying energy here too, which, as I said, is Gemini energy. And this is very much an energy of like bold expression and going after something head first. And because this is the Swords suit, so we are dealing with the air element, it's also everything to do with the mind, with communication, with how you express yourself, how you see things, and how you communicate with other people. Yeah, I don't know whether you are going to be writing a book of some kind, or whether you are planning on like designing a course, or starting some sort of coaching, or thinking about like, I don't know, becoming like a therapist or something like that. I feel like there is something about your calling that is tied to this whole experience, and you finding out so much like golden information, or like life experience and deep wisdom that you can share with others as a result of this, but also like getting into relationships that are much more healthy, much more balanced, much more healing. Yeah, and just like better for you overall is what I feel like here. So hopefully this made sense to you, pile number 2, because that's kind of what I have. But let's get into this next part now, which is the timing. So I just want to give a quick disclaimer. I don't really do timing too much on my channel. I very rarely talk about time frames because timing is such a fluid and tricky thing to get right. So this next part where we are looking at the potential time frame of when this shift may be happening for you, or when this new energy is coming in for you, you know, just take that next section with a grain of salt. Don't take it too seriously. This is just meant for sort of fun and a little reference point that may or may not be accurate for you. But yeah, anyway, that's my little spiel. So just, you know, keep in mind, timing is tricky, so don't get too attached to this next part. But let's see if we can get a time frame for when this thing may be coming in for you. Okay. Oh wow, you have 2 cards. Interesting. And we have May and June. So consecutive months coming out. So I feel like those 2 months, that 2-month period could be very significant for, again, for this personal growth that you are doing, for these realizations that you are getting. And all of these like shifts that are going to be taking place. By the way, some of which I forgot to mention with this Wheel of Fortune, some of which could be things that are sort of happening almost like serendipitous moments, or things where like the universe is throwing things in your path, throwing things, people, situations in your path that also play a very significant part in your journey moving forward. So there could be certain unexpected situations where the universe takes you by surprise, because with the Wheel of Fortune, things are really out of our control. But we have May and June. May says, connect with your dream and be in the moment. Serenity, connection, relax. And we have June, which says, enjoy small pleasures and endless opportunities. Leisure, escape, beauty. So interesting, because with this May card, it feels like you could be potentially deep in that introspective hermit mode energy where you are sort of getting more information, you are getting certain downloads, you are getting vital information or understanding during that time, especially with like connection, serenity, and relax. That could be, that seems to be heavily tied to this hermit energy. And then with June, that seems to be heavily tied to this Sun card energy, which says, you know, enjoy small pleasures and endless opportunities, leisure, escape, and beauty. So it feels like maybe that is like the time frame for some of you potentially, where in May, as I said, you could be receiving this like understanding or information, and then in June it could be where you sort of decide to do something with it, or to take some sort of action and to finally like express it in a more public way. And I also feel with this June energy that in the month of June you could be experiencing this this freeing up, or this getting to this place of like more joy and more freedom, and just being like having almost like this weight lifted off of you from this whole emotional entanglement that you are currently in. Yeah, so anyway, and also I feel like in June some of these more like positive experiences and serendipitous events and meetings and those types of things could also be taking place. At the bottom of the deck, we have distraction. This may not be aligned with your highest good. Tempting, deceptive secrets. So I feel like this is talking about the energy that you were tangled up with, or this like weird connection, everything that like where this upheaval occurred. I feel like that's what this is talking about. And you sort of realizing what that distraction was, or you know, what are the elements that are not meant to be carried with you into your future. But I want to close the reading out with some of my favorite oracle cards right now. These little frog cards, which have beautiful affirmations on them. So let's see what sort of advice and support Spirit wants you to know for this reading. Okay, we have one card. Let's get another one as well. Oh, you got 3 altogether. Okay. So yeah, the first card out is I am on my own timeline. I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Yeah, I feel like this is such an important message here, pile number 2, because, you know, you may be taking time out for yourself, and I don't know, maybe there is some sort of internal pressure within you that, you know, you are maybe worried about your age, or maybe you were worried about, you know, just sort of seeing how other people are doing in like their relationships or in their life and in their journeys. And it may sort of feel to you like you are behind, or like you are taking a step back because of like separating yourself from this energy, or because of like, again, this potential breakup, or whatever this upheaval has been for you, pile number 2. It could feel like, you could be feeling like you are doing something wrong, or like you are, yeah, like you are taking a step back in life. But I feel like that's not really true at all. And this is, again, it seems to be a very pivotal moment in your life journey as a whole, so that you could be realigned to something very, very important that you are meant to be doing. Okay, let's see what else you got. It says, it's so brave of me to exist. And with this card, I just feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, they want you to really show off your colors again, like all of this beautiful energy that you are, for the time being, keeping to yourself, that you are possibly like hiding away or not letting other people see, which is absolutely fine. And I feel like it's something that you are sort of meant to be doing so that you could get in touch with these deeper messages. But you know, ultimately with the Sun card here as well, I feel like Spirit wants you to express that beauty, express that vulnerability, express that specialness when you feel that the time is right. So yeah, it's so brave of me to exist. I love that message for you. Oh, and we have another, my fears do not control me. We had that same card for another pile as well. So yeah, it seems to be a topic. My fears do not control me. This mantra is so powerful as well. And I feel like it would do a lot of good to like repeat that to yourself, you know? And finally, we have, I believe that good things will happen to me. Yeah, I love that, because we are getting this beautiful, positive, optimistic little nugget at the end of this reading. And again, remember, you had the Wheel of Fortune, right? So I feel like Spirit is saying that good things are coming to you. Things are going to be turning around, and you are going to be coming out of this darker period of time, this more difficult and sort of challenging period of time. And yeah, things are going to be turning around. So anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna keep repeating the same message over and over. So this is it, pile number 2. These were the messages that Spirit had for you, and I hope that you found something useful from them, something encouraging, something consoling. So if this was your reading, and if you are still watching this, by the way, please leave me, let me think, please leave me a little flower emoji in the comment section, so that I know that you are still watching this reading and that you are the real deal. And you know, if you are still here, I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea. But yeah, I hope to see you very soon back on this channel for some more videos, more insight, more messages. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, pile number 2. I am wishing you all the best. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Helen and I am so grateful that you are here watching this right now. Before we get into the messages, I just want to say a quick thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your support, for your comments, for your likes, for the subscribes. I cannot believe that we have hit 1,000 subscribers. As I'm currently filming this, it happened quite recently, so by the time that this video goes up, it isn't such news anymore, but still, I just wanted to say that I appreciate your continued support so much, and I'm really thankful. So anyway, let's get into it. So you chose this fertility card. We also have some pre-prepared oracle cards as well that we are going to look at in just a bit, because first I want to see what I'm picking up on intuitively from this image. So this card says fertility, and just based on the image here, it feels like you are very much focused on creating something that, like, it feels like a soul project in some sense. So, even though in very literal terms, some of you could be, working on building a family. Some of you could actually be pregnant as you are watching this reading, or you could be trying to get pregnant. That may be something that you have been trying for a while. So it could be at the center of your mind in a very literal sense. But for others of you, I definitely feel that this is more of a general thing, of something that you are trying to bring into being, something that you are trying to create. And it feels like this, as I said, this like soul project or this vision, this something that like has very deep significance to you, a very deep meaning to you. But at the same time, just based on this image, I'm getting a feeling that there may be other people around you who may be trying to like sabotage that somehow, or who could be against whatever this thing is that you are working. They could be kind of like naysayers. They could be trying to knock your confidence. They could be trying to talk you out of doing this thing, or they could just have like general negativity about, again, this thing that you are planning, or this idea that you have, or this wish that you have. So, it just feels like it could be difficult to isolate yourself from that negative energy, or again, from like energy that is trying to undermine you somehow or veer you off course. And I'm kind of getting the sense that these other negative energies around you, they seem to be operating from a place of like jealousy. So it's almost like they are threatened by your vision, by what you are trying to achieve. And it's coming from a very low vibrational place, because of all of the way that these creatures are situated around this image is like they are almost like demon looking, so they seem to be operating from very low vibrational energies. And it's not to say that it's like their fault or that there is something wrong with them. It's just that it's almost like they can't really help it, because they haven't gone through certain personal development that you have gone through. So it feels like you have worked very hard. You have done a lot of work on yourself. You have healed a lot of wounds and insecurities, and you have gotten yourself through like blood, sweat, and tears to get to this place right now where you are driven by something, where you have a deeper mission or a deeper purpose, and you are trying to like do your own thing. But then, as I said, it's like these other energies around you that haven't done the work, that haven't faced their shadows and work through certain like past occurrences or wounds or traumas or things like that. They are like trying to knock you down to their level or something like that. So yeah, I feel like there is certain like danger or something of like them having the ability to affect you in a negative way. So just be mindful of the energies around you, especially if you already know exactly who these people are, or you already like resonate with this very clearly. Just be careful, especially with like how much you share of your vision and how much you incorporate or involve other people, or how much you ask for other people's opinions or something like that, because I feel like it could really, really do some damage here. And I feel like you don't really want that, because it feels like you are very much primed, or there like it almost feels like all of the conditions are right for you to bring this thing into being. So you just have to keep trying, you know, and not let yourself be talked out of it. But anyway, this is just the intuitive part. I have no idea what this is actually talking about specifically, but if you are still kind of unsure whether this is your reading, then stay tuned for this next part, because with these oracle cards, we're going to look at what kind of energy you are currently in. So let's see. We have co-create with spirit, abundance, breath, observation, and pick spirit. Use your mind wisely. Okay, so pile number 3, it definitely feels like you are trying to bring something into being. And I want to start off with the center card here with this breath card, because this is ultimately this life-giving force, right? If we think about the concept of breath and how we have to breathe, how we have to inhale and exhale in order to be alive, right? How it's like this, something that we do it involuntarily. We can't choose it, right? It's like a prerequisite for everything that we do. And so it feels like that is at the center of what it is that you are trying to do. You are trying to bring something into being. You are trying to breathe life into something. And again, it feels like it is this sort of vision that you have for yourself. And it seems, and because it's talking about breath as like this, again, involuntary or necessary part, it feels like whatever this thing is for you, it's something that you like need from your core. It's not something that you can choose. It's not something that you can like live without, or, you know, just, you know, it's not one of those things like it's nice to have. It feels to be coming from like a deeper need within you, like some sort of like it's a mandatory part of your life. With this co-create with spirit, this crow spirit and abundance, it seems like, again, it's not just a whimsical idea. This is something that you are doing very deliberately, and that is coming from like a deeper part of you. And it feels to be something that like spirit is also supporting. So with abundance, you could be sort of getting everything ready, or you could be preparing everything to get the conditions as good as they possibly can be. So, you know, if this is talking about some sort of like career project, or something that you're trying to express creatively like that, it could be that you are focusing on getting all of the equipment that you need, or learning all of the basics, or learning all of the necessary skills and knowledge that you need to get started. It could be to like make a plan or get everything in place and ready to go to have the most perfect launch or something like that. You could also be like, again, it feels like you could be seeking out other people's opinions or other people's advice or things like that. Even though I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if these people are experts, or if these people are, doing something similar, or they have succeeded in something that you are trying to succeed at as well. Especially like, let's say you're trying to build your own business. You know, if you consult with someone who has a very successful business, that may be of benefit to you, right? So it's not like a bad thing to do. But, when I was talking about not really opening up too much about what it is that you're trying to do with other people who are negative, they seem to be more so just like people around you. They don't necessarily have to be like your family members or very close people, but they just seem to be people in your proximity, and who are like keeping a close eye on what it is that you are doing. And so, you know, if they are not necessarily experts in anything, if they are not like teachers, mentors, guides, anything like that, then those are the people whose opinions, you know, it may be best to tune out or avoid. But yeah, with both of these cards, it just feels like you're trying to set up yourself for success and create like the best possible conditions. Again, if this is like literally talking about creating a family for you or getting pregnant, you could be doing your best to, you know, change your lifestyle, change your diet to be more healthy, or to get your body in the best possible shape. You could be exercising to like strengthen your core muscles or whatever. You know, it feels like you are doing your due diligence in order to make the most favorable conditions possible. And again, with this co-create with spirit, the universe is almost like helping you with that, you know, in helping you to bring about these conditions by like, you know, getting you in touch with like the right people, or you stumbling upon the right piece of information, or getting what you need rather quickly is kind of what I'm feeling. It may be like not relevant for all of you, but it definitely seems to be the case for some of you. And now we get to this interesting part here, because we have this observation and use your mind wisely. Now it feels like with both of these cards, it feels like you are still very much at the planning stages, or you haven't fully like dove into or dived into this thing that you are trying to create or bring into being yet. You still seem to be at the sort of the planning or the preparation period of that. But I also feel with this observation, and especially with the spider in its web like that, it almost feels like you can sort of see certain traps or see certain pitfalls. And it feels like you are doing your best to plan for any mishaps, to plan for any mistakes, or where things could potentially go wrong. So it feels like you are trying to like strategize or think of like contingency plans and things like that, or like backup plans, and figure out ways to make this as successful as you possibly can. But also with this observation, again, I feel like, you know, how other people are acting and how there could be something very like sabotaging about that, or how there could be certain things that you could get stuck in, or where you could slip up potentially because of this negative influence. I feel like there is something to do with that with this observation card too. So again, it's almost like Spirit is asking you to keep your eyes open and to be very vigilant and to pay attention to how these people around you are talking to you, what sort of words they are using, how they could be trying to like manipulate you, or again, like talk you out of certain things. Just pay attention to what they are actually saying. And with this use your mind wisely, it feels like you are being very discerning at this time. So I feel like it's not really easy to trip you up. And you seem to be largely aware of these negative influences or these sabotaging energies around you, and able to avoid that pitfall that they are trying to like lure you into. But yeah, it just seems to be talking about you being in this this preparatory mode, trying to think everything through, get all of the details in place, all of the sort of the pre-work done, so that you could have as big of a chance of success as possible. So yeah, that is what I am feeling here, pile number 3. So if you recognize this, if you resonate with this energy, then definitely stay tuned for the tarot portion, because now we're getting to the good stuff. We're getting to what the universe has been preparing you for. So what is it that you are ready for? What is it that you are ready to call into your life? So let's see what we get. Thank you. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Very interesting stuff. So pile number 3, you got the 2 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, the 7 of Cups in reverse, the 9 of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Wands, and the 2 of Cups at the as the underlying energy. So we are getting quite a lot of 2s. So the numbers 222 could be significant. They may actually be a sign from Spirit that is something that you may recognize or see as like confirmation that you are on the right path, or that you are doing the right thing, or that something is meant for you. But just to give a few of the zodiacal signs that are coming through here, the strongest that you could resonate with, we have fire sign energy coming through the strongest. So those would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Specifically Aries and Sagittarius coming through the strongest. And we also have some water sign energy coming through quite heavily as well, with Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces being significant, especially Cancer and Scorpio. The first thing that I want to say, just because I heard that very clearly, is that you are ready for more responsibility. And I know that that word may not sound like the most exciting, right? Like it's not like the best thing to hear possibly, but I feel like with whatever this is that you are trying to bring about, there is a lot of responsibility written into it. I mean, again, if we're talking about like pregnancy or having a child, building a family, that is huge responsibility, right? Like taking care of another person and being responsible for their life, for their well-being, for their upbringing, everything like that. Obviously, that has a lot of responsibility in it. But also, even if you are trying to do something creatively, if you are trying to bring about like or create a platform of some kind, or again, bring about some sort of like artistic piece or something that other people are going to also have like a personal connection with, there is responsibility in what you say, how you express yourself, and realizing that what you put out in the world affects other people, and it can have profound influences on other people's lives, and that can be for the positive or for the negative, right? So you have to be mindful of how what it is that you do can potentially alter someone else's life as well. So that's why, I just wanted to say that that's what was coming through here the strongest. And I'm actually kind of jumping ahead because we were already talking about responsibility. We have this 10 of Wands that you got, and that is mainly the card that I feel is talking about responsibility in this instance. And so, you are ready to take on more. You are ready to expand and like really do something meaningful, do something that has a lot of like significance, because the 10 of Wands is the culmination point of the wand suit, right? We have started from the Ace of Wands, which is just like a pure idea or a spark of inspiration, a spark of creativity, and we have arrived at the 10, which is where you sort of arrive at your destination, at what you have been working towards. And this does mean that there is quite a lot to like consider, quite a lot to handle, but at the same time, you are very well equipped to do that, I feel like, or it's something that you realize that you want for yourself, right? And now I'm going to sort of jump back to the beginning of the cards, because we have the 2 of Swords and the 2 of Wands that came out. And both of these cards, what they are saying when it comes to what you are ready for is that you are ready to sort of leave behind this like in-between state. With the 2 of Swords, this is very much like going back and forth and not really knowing what the right thing to do would be, or feeling a bit like stuck, and being in this like analysis paralysis, or getting way too much in your own head instead of taking action. And with the 2 of Wands, this is talking about a new pathway opening up, right? Some sort of new possibility, a new journey that is going to take you away from where you have been. And so I feel like with this 2 of Swords and the 2 of Wands, that you are kind of done deliberating, and you are kind of done just like going back and forth on things, and you are ready to venture out into the new world. Because I feel like you're ready to actually like start launching this thing, because I feel like you have done so much of the pre-work already. And also with the 7 of Cups in reverse and the 9 of Wands in reverse, it feels like, first of all, with the 7 of Cups, it feels like you're ready to leave behind certain distractions and things that aren't fully aligned with what brings you joy, with what you ultimately truly want to do. So I feel like you're kind of ready to move away from that. Again, these could be also like people or the negative energies that we were talking about. And it doesn't mean that you have to like completely cut those people out of your life, or, that you have to like shut them down or whatever. But, it can just talk about minimizing their influence, or again, being very mindful of how much you allow them to voice their own opinions, or how much you allow them to have a say in what is it that you do, and how much you involve them in that. Because with the 7 of Cups, it just feels like distractions, and it feels like it's talking about those other people. Now with the 9 of Wands in reverse here, it also feels like you have learned so much from everything that you have gone through, and especially like the more difficult lessons that you have gone through, because the Nine of Wands is essentially a card of like the past and past experiences, and like sort of holding on through like difficult or challenging circumstances. But when it comes out in reverse, you know, it's talking about that it's sort of time to leave that behind. And I just feel like you, again, like you are ready to move away from like the pondering and from the analyzing, and also again from any like negative input regarding what could potentially go wrong or what maybe hasn't worked in the past, or anything to do with like insecurities or weaknesses or like just this negative input. I feel like you're ready to leave that behind and truly embrace like this more authoritative position with this Ten of Wands. It just feels like Spirit is saying that you are ready to take on more and to step into this sort of position of power or position of initiative. There's something about you taking initiative here that seems to be very, very significant. Instead of, with the Nine of Wands, instead of like waiting for someone to like help you, or again, asking for other people's opinions, or asking for other people's validations or something like that, I feel like you don't really need that. That's why this Nine of Wands is coming out in reverse. Spirit is saying that you don't really need that. You have a very clear understanding now with the Seven of Cups in reverse. You are not confused anymore. You have a very clear understanding of what it is that is the thing that is calling out to you. What is it that you sort of need to do? What is this deeper calling? And yeah, you don't need any of the other distractions. And at the bottom of the deck, I don't know why I grabbed the whole deck, we have the Two of Cups. And this is such a beautiful energy. I feel like what this is saying is that you're ultimately ready to connect with something that is deeply magical, you know, something that has the ability to connect you to some really beautiful, emotional, and like intimate energies. I don't know. This can talk about like a relationship, right? As we were saying, especially if this is talking about like the family building scenario for you, then it seems like you are ready to like take that connection to the next level and to create that intimacy. But again, if this is talking about just like a creative project for you or whatever you are trying to express, it feels like you are connecting with, again, like something deeper within yourself, and possibly like with your higher self as well, because the Two of Cups can talk about your connection to your higher self or spirit, or whoever like you resonate with, whatever sort of deity or divine energy you feel a connection to. So yeah, I feel like you are ready to expand in that sense. You are ready to unify with something bigger than yourself. And again, because the Two of Cups very often talks about like love and like sharing as well, it feels like you are ready to share this like unconditional love with someone else or with other people. This, again, this like truly vulnerable and honest part of yourself that potentially has a way of like touching other people's souls in a very profound way. So yeah, that is kind of what I'm feeling. But I also want to move on to this next part, which I have to give a disclaimer is something to be taken with a grain of salt, because we're going to look at when is this new energy going to be arriving for you? What sort of time frame can you think in? Or I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where it's fun to look at the timing aspect of this whole situation, but I also don't want you to get too attached to this, because as I always say, timing is so tricky. Timing is fluid. There are so many moving parts to how things play out. And so, you know, it's just something to look for fun. But yeah, again, take this with a grain of salt. But let's see when this thing may potentially unfold for you, or when this new energy may be coming in. Okay, we got quite a lot, but this card flew out on its own, so I'm going to keep that. We have Sagittarius time. Didn't we have quite a lot of Sagittarian energy here too, which is kind of funny? Interesting. Okay, so yeah, the card that you got is Sagittarius time. So November 22nd to December 21st. Explore uncharted territory, travel, freedom, learning. Yeah, so again, you know, for some of you, this may resonate, so it may be accurate, or you know, it may not be too accurate. But the November and December time frame around Sagittarius season, that could be the time when you truly sort of get that like breakthrough moment, or when you get this new level of responsibility, or when things like finally like launch and really take off for you in that sense. Yeah, so that is that. But at the bottom of the deck, we have your choice. You are running the show and you get to decide. Power, authority, status. Yeah, so it's interesting that we're getting that, because you know, we were talking about how you have been preparing and you have been doing all of this due diligence, and also like how the way in which like you allow negative energies to really impact you, how all of that plays a part in this whole process. And so I feel with this underlying energy that like Spirit is saying that really the like how quickly or how slowly you decide to move, when you feel ready, or when you decide to like take the plunge, is really when things are going to unfold. So again, it's interesting that we're getting the words power, authority, status, because as we were saying before, that you know, you are sort of stepping into this leadership position, or you are stepping into authority in some way, you know? So it's like you are in the power seat here, if this card would focus. So yeah, anyway, kind of an interesting message there. But as the last thing, I want to close the reading out with some very cute affirmation cards. These are going to be advice or support from Spirit. Now, you know, if this is your first time on this channel, then maybe, you know, this deck may be foreign to you. But if you are not new to my channel, then you have seen this deck quite a lot in my recent videos, because I love these. I love these little frog cards and I cannot stop using them. So we're using them again today, and we are, as I said, looking at advice or support from Spirit regarding your reading. So let's see what they have to say. Okay, you are getting 3 cards. So the first one out, sorry, I constantly mess up the cards. Again, one of the things that I just, you know, that just happens on this channel. So it's something to get used to. But anyway, the first card that you got is I trust myself. And I love this because, as I said, you know, there could be this potential of needing outside validation or needing other people's opinions and asking for other people's opinions. And truly, you don't really need that. So, you know, trusting yourself, trusting that you know inherently what is the right thing for you, and that even if other people don't necessarily understand it at first, or that there are people who are trying to like, you know, talk you out of your idea, then just trusting that you are having this idea for a reason, right? And that it's coming to you for a reason, because you are meant to bring it into being. So I trust myself feels like a very significant mantra. We also have, I believe that good things will happen to me. Again, a card that we saw in another pile already, but I just love this message. Again, it's so positive. It's so enthusiastic and joyful. Truly trying to like sink that message deep into your psyche, into your core, and shifting to this more optimistic mindset that things can like work out for you in your favor, and believing that this thing is going to work out for you is like one of the best things that you can do to co-create with Spirit, right? To bring it into being, because our own perception is such an important and such a strong tool that we can use, right? It's ultimately what like shifts what sort of things occur in our life, and yeah, so it's just very important to pay attention to your own sort of mindset as well. And finally, we have my trauma doesn't make me less lovable. So this feels like possibly more of a specific message, but yeah, like some of you could have some sort of painful spots or sore spots from like things not working out for you in the past. It could also be why this like 9 of Wands came out in reverse here too, you know, that there could potentially have been some failures or some painful mishaps that you have experienced that has caused you to maybe take a step back, maybe again seek validation from other people, or to get this reassurance that you are doing the right thing and that you should go ahead with this thing. But yeah, just remember that, you know, you are not defined by what happened to you, and your future is not defined by what happened in the past as well. So yeah, I love this message for you. And at the bottom of the deck we have, it's so brave of me to exist. So again, this is just about like spirit, like puffing you up and asking you to have more courage to just show up, right, as you are. And again, to not be afraid to do what you feel called to do. So anyway, I was about to say that this is it, but then I got another message that I feel like I have to say it. It's important for you to show up as you are and do what it is that you are trying to do, because the people who resonate with that energy, the people who understand it and who are on the same wavelength as you, they are going to recognize it and they're going to find you. So yeah, anyway, that was important to add at the end. So now this is it, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching this reading. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that this reading was useful or insightful, helpful, uplifting, or that it was at the very least entertaining if it didn't really help you in any sort of concrete way. If you're still here, by the way, please leave me a little horse emoji. I would love to, you know, see who you are, that who are still here, who are the real deal, who are watching this reading, and yeah, I just love your beautiful energy and everything that you have shared with me. So thank you so much. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you, and I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, and I'm wishing you all the best. Bye bye.